life after death, or is it a trick of the mind? Well, with us now is Anne Walsh, who has a remarkable story to tell.
When I died, I floated up to the ceiling, and then I went through this tunnel.
I went into a tremendous place of peace, a place of great light.
A sense of complete oneness, peace that I've longed for ever since.
I was able to have a telepathic conversation with a horse. Everything was alive, the trees, the corn.
I didn't hear any sound. I saw sunlight and I could see it. It was a beautiful garden.
Os estudos das experiências de quase-morte costumavam ser coletâneas de histórias e casos. Mas agora alguns cientistas e médicos estão achando que pode haver alguma coisa surpreendente por trás desses relatos. O Dr. Pim van Lommel na Holanda e os doutores Sam Parney e Peter Fenwick na Grã-Bretanha são os pioneiros nessa pesquisa.
Till now the concept was that the brain is the producer of consciousness and a producer of memories. And when you study near-death experience, then you have to say, well, we have to reconsider this concept. And perhaps we should consider the brain not as a producer, but as a receiver of consciousness. And that's a kind of revolution.
Os três médicos continuavam ouvindo as mesmas histórias e queriam descobrir exatamente em que momento, durante o processo da morte, acontece a experiência de quase-morte. Será que ela ocorre quando o cérebro já não funciona mais, quando a pessoa está clinicamente morta? Só recentemente os cientistas e médicos começaram a estudar clinicamente essas experiências. E foi só a partir de meados dos anos 70 que esse fenômeno passou a ser melhor conhecido. Um médico norte-americano, Raymond Moody, publicou o que viria a ser um best-seller, o livro A Vida Após a Vida, que reunia os relatos de 150 pessoas que diziam ter vivenciado o fenômeno. Um dos ex-alunos de Moody reconheceu que era necessário estudar esses casos de uma maneira mais objetiva. Hoje, o professor e psiquiatra Bruce Greyson é um dos especialistas mais importantes dessa área.
At the time we started studying these phenomena, there really was no general consensus about what near-death experiences were. Nobody had heard about them. Certainly the public didn't know anything about near-death experiences, and most scientists, most doctors, had never heard of them either. It was important that researchers know that they were studying the same thing other researchers were in different parts of the country, different parts of the world. So we had to have some consistent criterion for deciding whether this was or was not a near-death experience. And so we developed the NDE scale, the near-death experience scale, to determine whether we were studying the same thing, in fact. The near-death experience scale taps into different components of the experience. The first is changes in thinking processes. People often report their thinking gets much faster than usual, much clearer than usual.
I felt myself being accelerated in time. I also felt my vibration being raised to a very, very high vibration. At that point, I knew I was dead.
The second component is changes in emotional state. People often report being overwhelmed by feelings of peace and joy and well-being, a sense of being one with the universe.
I just felt very safe and loved and warm, like how a baby feels in a womb.
The third component is a, quote, paranormal or psychic component, where people will report feeling like they've left their physical bodies.
All of a sudden, I popped out of my body, and felt like somebody just like pulled me right out of my body.
They may report extrasensory perceptions of things going on at a distance or visions of future events to come.
As I stood there, I stood 1,000 years in the past and 1,000 years in the future. It was all the same.
And the final component is what we call the transcendental component, a sense of being in an unearthly or otherworldly environment where they may encounter what appear to be deceased relatives, religious figures.
And I saw like a spirit, like the Virgin Mary, just actually walking past me, and I'm like, oh my God.
O trabalho do professor Greyson foi inovador e mostrou que as experiências de quase-morte eram muito mais comuns do que se imaginava. Além disso, mostrou que era possível medir o tipo de experiência que a pessoa tinha.